we're going to take a look at the smarter way of performing risk management in your organization on a continual basis. If you're watching this video on our website, feel free to ask any questions during or after the video by clicking the green icon in the bottom right and starting a new conversation. Let's look at how the system works. This screen is the foundation of your risk management, and where you and your team see all your risk factors, or control statements, and their current status. Each row represents a single risk factor or control statement. It consists of the following: a short, one-sentence description of the risk factor or control statement. Next, it shows how compliant you are. It could be either not applicable, none, or very weak, moderate, or strong. The inherent risk is the level of risk when no controls are in place. It could be either not applicable, low to moderate, moderate to high, or high. The residual risk is the level of controlled risk after the inherent risk has been measured and the control has been applied. The extent of the impact should a risk occur. The likelihood of the risk occurring. The person responsible to improve the design and effectiveness of the control in order to lower residual risk. The commitment date when the control will be improved, and the current status of monitoring. You click on a row in order to rate the risk factor or control statement. Let's look at the control statement. Identified breaches are reported to senior management of the FSP. A card pops up, and it shows the risk factor's description, its tags, and any relevant documents available for download, such as an existing breach policy. In this case, the risk factor relates to the compliance breaches register, and its most recent records are automatically pulled in, helping you make an informed rating. Next up, we identify and profile the risk. Rate the inherent risk, that is when no controls are in place. What type of risk this is. How likely is it to occur? If it occurred, what would be the extent of its impact, and what area would it impact? You can give an optional description of how the risk pertains to your organization, and what its potential financial impact would be. Next, we rate the controls we have designed to mitigate the risk. How well has the control been designed? Is it reliable? Does it cater for anomalies? Can the control easily be sidestepped? Next, how well does this control work? How well does it do what it has been designed to do? Who is responsible to improve the effectiveness of this control and by when? Next up, we look at the current status, the residual risk rating. Where does the organization stand after the inherent risk has been measured and the control has been applied? Here the methodology, assumptions, and process leading to this residual risk rating can be described. When the responsible person records this information, it unlocks knowledge and makes it accessible to current and future colleagues. Supporting documents can also be uploaded. Action plan to-dos that work towards improving the design and effectiveness of the control can be assigned to individuals and given due dates. You can also leave miscellaneous notes or comments. Here you set how often this control statement needs to be reviewed, ranging from annual to weekly reviews. The responsible person will receive a notification on the day, and the status of the control statement will automatically revert from completed to in progress. Let's look at what insights can be gained from our risk assessment. The system automatically identifies the top 10 risks in your assessment. As per the 80-20 principle, by focusing on mitigating top risks, you'll get the biggest effect, and in turn reduce your overall exposure to risk. The complex relationship between the control statements and the residual risk profile is simplified and visualized in this graph. Ideally, you would want your organization's high and moderately high risks to gravitate towards the top right corner. As mentioned at the start, you can add additional control statements or risk factors to your risk assessment when required. Let's briefly look at how easy it is. Describe the control statement, tag it with relevant tags, upload any documentation that the control statement's evaluator will be needing. Link the control statement to an existing register or database of records. As shown earlier, these will automatically be pulled into the statement when someone evaluates it, and you can deactivate the statement if needed. List action plan to-dos that will automatically be created by the system when the risk assessment is used for the first time. Set other default settings, such as the frequency at which the control statement should be re-evaluated, its type of risk, likelihood of occurring and potential extent of impact. In conclusion, our risk assessment system is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Customize your risk factors or control statements to fit the nature, scale and complexity of your organization. Rate and fill in as much, or as little, of each control statement as you like. Your team members collaborate on the same risk assessment, from anywhere, at any time. You can start a single risk assessment, and iteratively improve on it for years to come. Or use many risk assessments, start a new assessment annually and use the previous year's assessment as baseline. That wraps up our overview of the smarter way of performing risk management in your organization. Thank you for watching. Please get in touch, or send us your questions.